Today on Suncoast View, Sarasota's newest downtown development plan may include more pedestrian spaces. We'll explain.
Warmer weather means mosquitoes and love bugs. We'll talk to Sarasota County's pest professionals about how to beat our Suncoast bugs.
And don't forget Mom. Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. Today, we'll have a present to pamper Mom. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and welcome back to actor Greg Pitts. Great to have you with us again.
Glad to be back. Very excited.
Yes, and you always bring us good news from Venice, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, we were talking before we started taping about the urban forest. Is that what you're referring to? Yeah. We have a new urban forest about 1.75 miles going in right along the Intracoastal Waterway in Venice. It's going to be a canopy, walking area, water to overlook, and all this stuff. It's going to be a really beautiful thing for people to just kind of take in the community.
Wow,
that is
what
so
a great
cool.
idea.
Yeah.
And Greg, I feel like you are like the example of what we want in the Suncoast. Someone who you grew up in Venice, you had a great film career, were in Office Space, one of my favorite movies ever, and yet you still have come back and you've made your home here, and that's what we hope for everyone who is from the Suncoast area.
Absolutely. You know, I'm 48 years old. I'm curious what my path would have been had I just stayed here, but I realize why people want to come back to Florida. It's a great place to relax, enjoy the sunshine, the weather, and you know, I have tons of friends here, family, you know, all kinds of reasons.
So you can have a great life here. You
That's
don't have
right.
to go away to do it.
That's right. That's
And you
right.
still help actors from here. Tell us a little bit about the on-camera.
Well, one of the things that when I moved from Los Angeles, my manager there said, you know, you can still submit yourself for auditions on tape. So I had to get all this equipment and set up a little studio at my house. And then my agent asked me, would I do it for other actors? So I have all these other actors that come in, and I help coach them and prepare them for their auditions. And you know, a lot of them have actually booked quite a few things. I have one that's going back and forth between Los Angeles and here, and she's doing very well. So yeah, it's kind of a way to keep my toe in the.
Sounds like a field trip.
Linda wants to get on tape.
Hey, just let me know. We'll
You
bring
can
you in.
submit us and see how we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, good to have you back, Greg. We're going to
Thank
see
you.
who's in the kitchen today, and we also welcome back another familiar face, Chef Caroline from Libby's Cafe and Bar. What are we making today?
Well, today we're making Libby's famous blue cheese iceberg wedge.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, and it looks like it's got some tasty treats on top. This is not just any wedge.
It's just not any wedge. We have a lot of additions to it.
Okay, that's nothing wrong with that. And we found something fun when Chef Caroline came in today. Your Crocs are a riot. Where did you find these?
Amazon.
Oh my
Amazon.
God.
Swedish chef, I love it.
My favorite.
Little chef
What is that?
And so appropriate. That's the Swedish chef on her shoes.
From the Muppets.
On her shoes?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you know, I'll let Greg do the imitation.
He does the okay, remember him?
Remember him from the Muppets? That's wonderful.
I know we were trying to have a serious conversation with Caroline, and I just kept looking down.
I know. I'm like, what are you looking at?
That's great. We love the fun in the kitchen. Well, speaking of fun, Joey, you mentioned that you were going to have a pretty big weekend.
Yes.
Out and about.
A big theater-going weekend last weekend. I was very excited, and I was starting with the producers at American Stage up in the park in St. Pete, and I love it. And every year they do, for several weeks, they'll do a big production outside, and you can pack a lawn chair and everything. Of course, it's dependent on the weather, and for the first time this year so far, the weather did not cooperate.
Oh.
We waited. There was a group of 5 of us, my family and friends, and we waited, and they were hopeful that the show would be able to go on, and eventually they had to call in about 7.
You know, normally this
7:30.
is a good month to do this. The meteorologist in me would tell you that we don't get a lot of afternoon storms yet. We're not in that pattern. But unfortunately, there was a
Yes.
front dropping through Saturday. So
I can't even remember when I've seen rain.
I know, and it stuck around. Like, I'm from up north, and I know, like, oh, when it rains, cancel your plans for the whole day. But in Florida, I've started to learn that it
an
comes
hour.
and goes. It actually did stop right before the show, but because the whole stage is outside, it's not safe for the actors because it's still very slippery.
Could make a very interesting performance.
Yes, yeah. Well, luckily it's a
slide.
comedy, so I guess it could have helped. But we did have better luck. We went to the opening night of Ragtime at Oslo Rep.
oh, fun.
And it was fantastic. I know that I rave about shows all the time, and Linda, you do too, but this one was really probably in my top 5 of any show I've ever seen
Really?
here on the Suncoast. It was incredible. And I don't want to give away too much because I know the cast is coming on the show tomorrow, but there were some big, big names in the audience.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the composers of the show came down to check out the opening, and I know we'll probably hear a little bit more about how that turned out tomorrow.
Did they stand up and applaud?
Everyone did.
Everyone
did. It was
if the
really.
composers like it, that's a good sign.
That's exactly right. They
So
have the
you
vision.
have through May 27th to see it, but based on the reaction this opening weekend, I wouldn't wait to get tickets. It's so good. It's very good.
All right, great. Well, we love to have the attention focused here on our arts and theater, so good to have them down here with us. It is time for our first hot topic. And have you been down Lemon Avenue lately in downtown Sarasota? Big changes are taking place. The Mark, a mixed-use condominium and retail building, is being constructed south of Main. And now the city is discussing making a more pedestrian-focused center for the project to make downtown even more walker-friendly. Planners want the option to block off through traffic at Lemon and Pineapple for events. What do you think about this? That does make driving a little bit more of a challenge down there.
You can't park down there, so you might as well walk it. You're going to have to anyway.
That's a good
so
point.
I think it'll be really nice. That's across from the First United Methodist Church. It used to be our parking lot. Now it's going to be a huge building, but I think it will be a nice area.
You don't
to
think we're
walk
going to
in.
have any problems getting over to Burns Court or anything if that gets blocked there?
Well, with the current construction that's happening now around Orange, I think we're all learning ways to get around anyway. So what looks like it's a big pain in the butt right now, but it is teaching us that we can get around, and sometimes you have to park a few blocks away and walk it. So maybe it's good timing.
Yeah, we've just got to figure out our parking because we're people of habit.
Well, and there's a big garage on State now over by Bricks and State Street Eating House that seems, I know when I've been down there, where I've been able to pop in.
And I think once you force people to get out of the car and walk, you notice stores and restaurants and things that you didn't even realize were there because you were walking right past them.
And it's not too far a walk
That's right.
for people my age, so there's no excuse for that.
Yes, and you're right. And there are more businesses popping up, and I think that it does that curiosity of, oh, what's up there? What's up there? Keeps you moving, as opposed to if you had 3 dead blocks and then your destination, that's a little harder.
Oh, yeah, I don't want
to get
that.
people
No,
to-
I think it'll help fill in some of those lemon
Yeah.
and orange side streets too, because I know some businesses have had trouble staying there. And I think Greg's right. It's because there isn't or wasn't a lot of foot traffic there because people park on Main. So now
Some really great businesses. There was a really great bakery, and I can't remember the name of it now, but it had wonderful pastries and everything, and I don't think they could sustain
the
theirs.
Baltimore Snowball Ice
Yes.
Place,
Ooh.
remember that? That didn't hang on, and I think one of the reasons was just not enough people over there.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Some of my favorite shops are still there, and I'll walk if I have to.
There you go.
Linda's a good sport about that. So one of the final pieces of Obamacare goes into effect this week. Chain restaurants must now post their nutritional information and calorie counts of menu items. You'll also now see labels at grocery stores, convenience stores, movie theaters, and even vending machines. The FDA says educated customers order on average 50 fewer calories when they are more aware of nutritional information. Do calorie counts impact your ordering?
Yes, but I wonder how they know for sure that this is the truth. I hate to be a pessimist, but I wonder who's deciding what the calorie count is.
Well, I know that when our friend Chef Bob from Gold Rush started his own barbecue sauce, he had to go through a very, very involved process to submit everything to get the nutritional information. So I'm hoping, as long as they don't change up the dishes, all that information would be accurate.
Well, the corporate menus, you know, let's say this is just an example, Cheesecake Factory, because I know their info is already on their menu. You know, they have the corporate recipe for each of those things. So the law is for any restaurant that has more than 20 locations. It then gets considered a chain, and it has to be published. So they have to have corporate menus then.
And to that point, I mean, I had friends that worked at Olive Garden in college, and you get 3 tomatoes, you get 1 onion. I mean, everything is.
And then somebody has figured out the calorie and fat and nutrition.
The reason I'm suspicious is sometimes I tell my daughter, oh no, it's only got 150 calories, and I'm pouring on the sauce.
Well, I know that I personally, whenever, you know, I had the Fitbit watch and that sort of thing, and you know, you get on the app and you're supposed to input the things that you eat. So you're watching a calorie count like accrue throughout the day. I would make different choices when I realized, oh, I want to have this, but it's going to put me over my goal, you know, so I can have half of that. So knowing the calories or the fat or whatever content I was having did make me change my decision. So
I think it's responsible. I know that there was, I don't want to call anybody out, there was a place that I used to go to, it was a smoothie place, and I always thought I was making healthy decisions until I found out that they put, 3/4 a cup of sugar into the smoothie, and so that has changed. I don't order that anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, and Joey, you mentioned that if you're in between two things on the menu and the numbers are right there, at that point I'm like, all right, well, if I was willing to have it anyway, and now I know that it's lower calories, that would be a better choice.
Yeah.
So, no, knowledge is power. I mean, I think since we know that the obesity epidemic is killing people and a big problem here, I think anything we can do.
And I'm going to be more honest in my calorie counting to my guests.
Well, it's easier when the restaurant counts it, because I figure they're probably a little more honest than I am. So Sunday, Monday, happy days. The matriarch of the Cunningham family from the hit sitcom says that family really did have happy days together as a cast. Actress Marion Ross has a new memoir out called My Days, Happy and Otherwise. And in it, she says the cast that played the Cunningham family really liked each other. So much so that they did things like play softball as a team during much of their time off set. She said it kept the cast together and that they always made time to play ball when they weren't in production. Greg, we were holding this to have somebody who understands, cast relationships well. How important is it that people really like each other?
It's very important because when you have the star of the show, for instance, if they're having a bad day, you feel it. The minute they come on set, you feel everybody's like, it's quieter. When they're having a good day, it's great. So when you have a cast that gets along really well, it makes me think of a show that I did with John Goodman that was one season. It was called Normal, Ohio, where I played his son, and we had a great cast, a big extended cast. And when it was canceled, and we knew it was canceled, we filmed one last episode knowing we were canceled. The tears, it was like when we took our final bows, and we felt that because we were all very close over the season that we filmed together. And it was like you had created a family, and for years after that, those of us would still get together and see one another, have lunch, and do things, even though we'd all moved on to other projects.
Suncoast View is like that. People ask me at Music on Main, they ask me all over, do you guys really get along as much as you look like you do? And we really do. This part of my life every day is always great and fun and just something I laugh about. Then real life sets in when I get out of here. But this is always a good, happy island for me.
Chemistry isn't fakeable, and we know that in what we do, because obviously this show is just about being real. I know from decades of news anchoring, chemistry is hard to fake, even for that. But I did wonder, when you're in a role, you're obviously in a character anyway, so I didn't know how much it mattered.
When it's hard is when you have to be sort of disliking the other character who you like so much. That's actually when it's more difficult. I had to do an improvisation once in a room with Billy Bob Thornton, where the director said, all right, just improv and lay into him. It was for Bad Santa. I was up for one of the roles. And he was the character was a horrible person. So like, no, just criticize him. Just go at Billy Bob.
Right.
And I'm sitting here looking at this man with a smile on his face, and I'm like, I love Billy Bob Thornton. How am I
going to do this?
How am I supposed to do that? So it was, needless to say, that probably cost me the
You're so good at it.
I could give about 50%.
Right. That's very
I
interesting.
just can't do this.
Well, an art museum in Paris is showing 100%. They exposed visitors to much more than just provocative paintings this weekend. Patrons took in the art and took off all their clothes. The Palais de Tokyo Museum opened its doors to nudists for a special visit Saturday. Ironically, this is part of growing efforts by France's nudist community to encourage acceptance of clothes-free activities. The museum visit was arranged before regular opening hours. Well, they always say eyes up here. Well, I guess when you're at the museum in that case, it's eyes over there at the painting. Nothing to see here.
Museums are supposed to show the beauty of the human body. And when the nudists come in, it's not going to be all beauty.
It's a little subjective, I guess.
And ask me how I know that, because I went to a nude beach once, and I had a swimsuit. I swear I did. But those bodies were not all beautiful.
There is, yes, I do understand. I mean, I don't speak from experience, but I do understand that there is an acceptance of your body in the nudist community. What I'm more upset with is not the fact that they're nudists and they're at a museum, but when I've traveled and I've gone into churches or museums in Europe, I have to put on one of those paper robes if I'm wearing a tank top. Yet they can just let it all. Yeah. Several times I've had to put on those, almost like when you're at the doctor's office, those paper gowns to cover my shoulders.
You were Joey inappropriately dressed in a tank top in Europe. I did not know
Yet they can let it all hang out.
That's not fair.
Fairness. That's what I want.
That's very
I would be fine with just like, let's be able to wear pajamas around. If that was acceptable, you know, just some comfortable.
That's called college.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they wear there.
Don't need to be completely nude, but just, you know.
Just comfortable. We like comfort. All right, we're going to check out our happy hour forecast. And when we come back, a very important initiative to help newborns here in Sarasota.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your first alert weather update this afternoon. Things looking quite nice out there, although on the warm side, but the humidity is what's so nice. 38% right now, a northwest wind at 13. That front that blew by over the weekend has now cleared the state and continues to march away. High pressure is going to build in and keep our skies rather clear tonight. Temperatures will be comfortable, and we'll look for that wind to switch around to the northeast. But right now, out of the west northwest, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour. Sarasota, you're at 8. Northport now out of the west southwest at 5, 15 at Minnesota Beach. The fire danger will remain high throughout this week as a result of the dry air and no chance for any significant rainfall right in through Friday. We'll have much more on that coming up. Obviously, the winds will be out of the west-southwest, but then switch around to a northeasterly direction later on tonight and tomorrow morning. That will keep things very dry here along the Suncoast. We'll take a look at the rest of the work week's forecast and let you know if any rain is in it coming up today at 5. See you then.
In Sarasota County, 52% of the babies are born into poverty. These infants are often starting their lives without stable housing, food, and health care. But the Suncoast has the resources to help these babies and their families. Kelly Romanoff from the Charles and Marjorie Borancic Foundation is here to tell us about a community program that is making a big difference. The program is called The First 1,000 Days, Kelly. What does that name mean? Why that name?
Good morning, Linda. The first 1,000 days of life is when our brains develop, and that sets the course for that individual's well-being for many years to come. By the age of 2, 80% of a baby's brain is done growing. So if we can help that family when the baby's being conceived and born, set them up for optimal success, they're going to have a long and well life in front of them.
Of course, I should mention that you're not here alone. You're going to have a baby in what?
Next week.
Next week. So we have an expert, and those first 1,000 days are making a difference in every baby's life, right?
Yes, ma'am. And there's such different paths that a child can go down if they have the resources, the food, the nourishment, the stability they need, versus if they are sadly neglected or undernourished. You can see the science of the brain and the underdevelopment, and so we are wrapping that family with all of the care that's available in our community to make sure that that child has the resources they need in the first 1,000 days of life.
What are the goals of this program?
We started a conversation about how we can help parents be their child's first and best teacher. And at Borancic Foundation, we invite the people into the room who are doing the work. So we invited our healthcare nonprofits, our early childhood nonprofits, our hospital leaders. And what we found is there was a lack of warm handoff between when that baby was born and getting them to the community resources they needed. And it's a maze. It's hard. You guys know navigating healthcare is difficult.
Yeah.
And so you can see this maze on the screen here. Those are all the services that are in our community. But if you are financially disadvantaged and you're caring for an infant, how are you going to navigate that picture?
Right.
How can anybody navigate it? It takes a lot of time. It's like a full-time job.
Yes, ma'am. So we said, okay, we have an accountability to better serve these families. And we are creating a fluid system of care, and it's starting at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. We're putting patient navigators at the hospital who will identify the families in need at the time the child is born and personally handhold and guide them to those different services, really sticking with them through every stage of that child's development.
Oh, what a wonderful thing. What a relief to these parents. So are these new programs at Sarasota Memorial, or are you clarifying programs that are already there?
A little bit of both. There's no new nonprofit being developed or new programs being developed. We're just putting 2 new staff at the hospital who will be those patient navigators and make sure that the nonprofits who are caring for that family are all talking and there's a cohesive care plan, as well as meeting every need of the family along their way. So no new programs, but just help to get to those programs.
Oh,
It's great that the basis was already there. You know, that we have the programs, because we do know, I mean, the hundreds of nonprofits that are here, so many are focused on kids, but it's bothersome to know that people weren't able to find those benefits.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to see those services go away because they weren't being taken advantage of. When
Right.
you know they're the people that need it, it's almost like, I don't want to simplify it, but like a matchmaking
Right.
in a
It
way.
is.
Correct.
You find the people
Correct.
that need it, and you find the services that are doing it.
What do the parents say?
Oh, they're incredibly relieved and grateful. And so many times they don't know the service that exists. They're just sitting there struggling, trying to figure out, why is my baby crying, or where do I find this resource that I so desperately need? They're not connected. So we are that connection, that Velcro connection, to make sure that whatever they need is satisfied. Because again, the programs are there in our community, and that's part of what we're celebrating is the good work of our nonprofit partners, but just putting it at a greater access point for the families who need it most.
What can we do to help? What a rich community we have, and 52% of our babies are born into poverty. The rest of us have got to pitch in. What can we
That's
do?
right. That's right. So First 1,000 Days Sarasota County is raising $1 million to cover 3 years of this pilot initiative at the hospital. Those funds will also be used for outreach and education to let the families know these services exist. Charitable funds have been established at Gulf Coast Community Foundation and Community Foundation of Sarasota County that people can donate towards that goal. And I would also encourage you can go to BrantsickFoundation.org, our website, and see a list of all the 32 partners who have been involved in creating this stronger system of care in First 1,000 Days. And if you see something that moves you or sparks your passion, contact them, get involved, support the individual agencies, as well as financially contributing to the initiative.
Just look at those babies. That'll inspire.
That's right.
What a wonderful program. That
Thank
is
you.
awesome. And to find out more how you can help, you can go to the website. It is the Baranczyk Foundation. Their website you can see on the screen, and we've got to help those kids get a good start. And now, how Florida can improve its film production. We'll discuss this hot topic.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here. Because
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
no.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Experience the Classical Music Celebration May 11th and 12th at the historic Sarasota Opera House. World-class musicians include guitar duo Charisma, currently touring with Andrea Bocelli. Tickets available online or by phone.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
I'm Alan Cohn. The massive outage. Verizon users lost cell service for hours. In some cases, cell service is a matter of life and death. What can we do next time?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Well, we know that we have a thriving arts community, but the question is Florida missing out on some things in the entertainment industry? There's growing concern that Florida's not offering enough incentives for film and TV productions, especially with Georgia's film industry currently booming. The biggest concern is shows and films that are taking place in Florida, but they're not shot here, including HBO's Ballers, the Oscar-nominated film Hidden Figures, and even the recent Baywatch remake. So, Greg, you are a Venice native, and you've had a very successful film career, and you have come back to live here now. This is kind of a hot button issue for you.
Absolutely, and what's interesting, you mentioned Ballers. Ballers started out in Miami. They moved to Los Angeles because it was cheaper.
Wow.
To Los Angeles to film.
Oh, that's crazy.
Over the last 2 years, I think it's estimated that we've lost about $1 billion in Florida to production that's either left or decided to go elsewhere. We're only one. There's 35 states that have film incentives. We're the only one in the Southeast without any. And I know that the pushback is kind of like, well, you know, industries should thrive on their own. You know, they either make it or don't. The government shouldn't get involved. Well, the federal government apparently gets involved all over the place because a lot of states are having incentive programs.
Oh, Atlanta's doing so great.
Yes.
I mean, they even have tours that you can
Huge.
go on to see where they are making these many films.
Why don't our lawmakers seem to be concerned about the fact that they're evacuating the industry?
Right, it seems like it should be a little bit more alarming.
Yeah.
And Governor Scott was pretty good with the film stuff. Like he seemed to embrace it. You know, as much as people want it, he would bring it in. And I don't understand. I've never been given a good logical explanation as to why they're like, no, we just don't want this, because the proof is there. Salaries go up exponentially. All the heads in the beds, as they say.
Right. Yeah, help people
restaurants
understand when a film crew comes to shoot in Florida. What are some of the
hundreds of
other, the butterfly effect, if you will, of all of the other industries that benefit?
Well, what you're doing is you're creating something that will keep people in Florida. People will want to grow roots if they can have a prosperous career in something creative. And I think that's, earlier in the show we were talking, I mentioned, I don't know what I would have done if I would have just stayed here after college, because wanting to go into a film career, for instance, this would open up, you have editors, directors, production staff, people, and not unlike the offices here, you have a lot of people working behind the scenes. Nowadays, you see at the end of films, they'll show all the people that worked, and then there's like the Film Georgia or the logo, Louisiana. Yes. And they'll oftentimes say, 15,000 people were employed by this movie.
Well, it seems like we have the perfect settings. I mean, there's the beach, there's the urban core. You can go east and find country. I mean, there's everything you would need.
And when something takes place in Florida, it is kind of upsetting to see it not filmed here. They have to recreate it somewhere. Bloodline on Netflix, I know, tried to film here.
Yeah, they were down in the Keys.
Yes, but then they ran out of, it was very expensive.
It was a fantastic show, and they had to sort of expedite an end to it because they knew the incentives were done. The cost of production was going to escalate to where they couldn't keep doing it, and so then they had this sort of contrived final season where they just kind of pushed it through so they could have a complete package to put on a DVD or whatever.
Oh, what a shame!
Yeah, and such an amazing show. If you start watching it, if you haven't watched it, you can go binge watch it.
Yes, and actually I've seen a lot of local actors have made cameos. So, well, you can find more about what's going on. This is where I got my information from you, actually, from Greg's Facebook page, On Tape Sarasota with Greg Pitts. We'll keep an eye on what's happening with the Florida state entertainment industry. Coming up next, we're going to learn how to fight back against Suncoast summer bugs, and they're coming.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Imagine a world filled with pillow fights, playgrounds, and the search for the perfect climbing tree. Every kid deserves that world, but 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger. At No Kid Hungry, we're committed to creating a world where every kid eats healthy food every day. We raise funds, we help families, and we lift up communities.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in the kitchen with Chef Caroline from Libby's Cafe and Bar. And Caroline, it's a big week for restaurants. I bet reservations booking quickly for Mother's Day.
Yeah, you
Tell
better.
us what Libby has in store.
Well, we have, just like Easter, Mother's Day is a huge brunch buffet. From king crab legs to rack of lamb, ham, all the salads and fixins. You could want probably about 50, 60 items.
Oh, wow.
Now I should make your reservations now.
Okay, yes, it will be a busy day, and it sounds wonderful.
It
Mom
is.
loves to be taken care of. That's coming up Sunday, May 13th, tableside.com. Joey?
Our warm weather season is officially here, but that means something else is too, bugs. May is the unofficial start of mosquito season here on the Suncoast. But mosquitoes can be more than just annoying. They can also spread disease to both people and our pets. Matthew Smith and Taylor Greenan of Sarasota County Mosquito Management are here to help protect us from these pesky pests. It seems too early. I don't want the mosquitoes here yet.
It's never too early for mosquitoes. This is Florida. You have mosquitoes year-round. They're just worse.
They're getting aggressive.
Yeah.
All right, so you actually have a great visual that shows us where are we right now in May in their life cycle.
Really, I would just like to say it's more of the ramp up. Actually, you've got all those all the time. The life cycle is actually a pretty quick cycle, but right now you're having a lot of things that either overwintered as larvae or pupae or even as adults getting going now. So you have eggs hatching, larvae starting to mature that may have been dormant, during the winter season, and adults that were hiding. They're going to come out and start biting, sucking blood, generating those eggs, and looking for places to lay them. So all we need now is some more water, and we'll have a problem.
Oh, so the water will obviously stimulate the growth.
Yes.
All right, you brought, speaking of water, there's water in this example that you also brought to show us a little more about their life cycle. Show us what we have here.
I think we have all the stages represented. You can see some, oh, sorry, Joe.
That's all right. We're going to move them around a
Yeah,
little. So these are all the stages.
Yeah.
Even just seeing them, I'm starting to itch.
Yeah, usually if you blow on them, they'll get to flying around.
Okay.
We've got adult females, there's eggs in the bottom and larvae, and maybe even some pupae. The pupae is the stage where the larva, which is completely aquatic, reorganizes into an adult. So they're the little things that look like a comma.
So we hear all the time to get rid of standing water. Is this an example of why? Because they like it, they breed in it?
So this is what could be happening in our yard now.
If we don't dump our pots and all that kind of
and
thing?
that's Taylor's our new outreach coordinator, and that's her job, is to try to convince every single person in Sarasota County to dump out water.
I have a question about standing water. If somebody has a vacant house, pool unattended, and it's full of water that maybe had chemicals in it at one point, can it be a breeding ground for mosquitoes if it's gone?
That's bad news. That's
We
bad
used
news
to have
for
one
a
of
lot
those,
us.
yes.
So I have a question. I'm always the first one to get bit whenever I'm in a group. Are there certain people or blood types that mosquitoes are drawn to? Do we know?
I do know that science thus far has been able to determine that mosquitoes have a preference for certain people over others, so there will be people getting bit more often than others. However, they haven't really been able to piece together specifically or that really important pinpoint of why they are choosing others.
You're just fun to be around, Joey.
I'm big with mosquitoes. Well, it isn't just actually about people. I know they're annoying to us, but they actually can harm our pets as well. And you brought something, it's a little bit hard to look at, I'll be honest, but it is important to know. Tell us what you brought here.
So we have a dog heart. It has been infected with a heartworm, which is a parasite that mosquitoes can transmit to your dog if you don't medicate them. So
this is what infection looks like. The long strings are
Yes,
actually
that's
the
spaghetti-looking stuff.
Yes.
So do mosquitoes bite dogs?
Yes.
Okay, so when we give them, I know in my case we do the monthly pill. So that prevents them from getting the problem from the mosquitoes.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
that's
But
interesting.
not getting bitten?
They still get bit.
They
it's
still,
just,
yes.
Okay, it's
that
not
will
really
help.
bad.
So I know this is difficult to look at, but it is important to know that this can
That's
happen
awful.
if you don't
Yeah.
seek help for your dogs. In the past, you have brought some tips of the 5 Ds or the 4 Ds, and I'll be honest, I don't remember them, of ways that we can, kind of protect ourselves, but I hear that you've simplified them a little bit.
Yes, yeah, for the most part, it's just really dump and cover. So anything that you've got out in your yard that is holding water, you want to dump it and then either bring it inside and just kind of simplify things to make sure that there's no standing water.
And then keep yourself covered is the cover
Yes.
part.
Yes.
I know we have bromeliads in our yard which hold a lot of water, and so I'm constantly trying to drain them or put things over them so that they won't. You have another option which I love in front of Stephanie. You have fish that can help. Tell us about the fish program.
Yeah, we do. We have an entire aquaculture system at our compound where we grow these things. They're wild, they're native fish. So we take them out of the wild, we grow them, it's a better way to keep track of them. Make sure you're not transporting any invasive species around by just moving fish from pond to pond. And you put those in a water source like an old pool or fountains, koi ponds, things like that, and they'll breed and reproduce and eat tons and tons of larvae. They're great. They're great control. And we make these available to the public. People can call and schedule and come by and pick them up. Our technicians use them as a form of treatment so that we use less chemical.
That's great.
I did that in my neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had a pool that hadn't been used in a year or so, so we got the fish, dumped them in, and it worked. It really works for all of us.
It's just another tool in the toolkit. We have a lot of tools in our toolkit, fortunately. Because mosquitoes breed in so many various different types of habitats and different ones bite different things. This is just one of the tools. They're hard-working
It's a great
tool.
resource you have. Now, all right, mosquitoes are one thing, but before we go, I want to talk a little bit about love bugs. If you've stepped outside, you've noticed it is their season. So I have a couple questions, because I've heard some rumors about love bugs. First of all, were they genetically engineered in Florida in a lab? That is the biggest rumor that I've ever heard.
No, they were not. I can unequivocally say they were not. They are natural organisms. Love bugs are, they're a species of fly. The scientific family name is the Bibionidae, the family. And there's actually a species of love bug that's native to Florida. It's called Plesia americana, and then the ones that you see everywhere else are Plesia nearctica. They actually originated in Central America, but they're believed to have migrated naturally. Just a lot of that migration occurred in the early part of the century. So there are writings as far back as 1910 about major love bug problems in Louisiana.
Do they have a purpose? I mean, seriously, what is their purpose in life?
I always tell them they have the same purpose as we do, as anything does. You know, it's like anything living, it's like you can almost, it's like with a metaphysical question, what is the purpose?
Right.
But they do, things eat them. The larvae live most of the year in the top layer of the soil, and they eat like the old vegetative matter. So, I mean, they are considered decayers. They do feed on nectar somewhat, so they can be considered pollinators. They're a food source. They're just problematic because they come out 2 times a year, big swarms, get all over your car.
Is there any threat to them? Is there any threat to the love bugs?
No.
Yeah, who eats them?
Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah, good answer.
But I did hear wash your car. If they're on the front of your car, wash your car because they will ruin the paint.
How long will they last?
Usually about a month.
All right. Well, hopefully that part of the month will go by quick.
2 times a year, though.
To find out more about getting the fish and the other Sarasota County preventions that you'll need to fight the mosquitoes, and I don't know, maybe we can fight the love bugs, you want to go to the county's website, scgov.net, and go to Mosquito Management Services tab. All right, coming up next, we're going to learn how to pamper Mom for Mother's Day.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. Tonight, Sarasota City Commissioners are discussing ongoing traffic issues, what they're proposing to help smooth traffic flow between the city and its barrier islands. Plus, how Lakewood Ranch High School is looking to make the game of football smarter and safer. Now let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Bob.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Now that the weekend is over, the sunshine is back out and 89 degrees. The humidity has really dropped now down to 38% at this hour. The pressure low, but it's rising slowly. That front that moved through over the weekend is now well down to our south and east, continuing to head away. And we're looking at high pressure building in from the west, which means pretty nice weather over the upcoming days. There are some changes, though, on the way. We'll talk about next weekend, and you guessed it, more chances for rainfall. Now, winds out of the west-northwest right now, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Up and down the coast right now, nice breeze in Siesta Key. We'll have more coming up at 5. See you then.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
I used to dread getting up and going to work.
I was done with the corporate grind.
I was tired of being a starving artist.
And I started looking around for a business that I believed in, and I kind of wanted to do something a little more green.
My SCORE mentor helped me take the first step.
He helped me create a business plan and helped me implement it.
They've really taught me how to think big.
SCORE helped me to make the unimaginable possible, all for free. I'm here because of SCORE.
I'm here because of SCORE.
Get your free business mentor at SCORE.org.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Well, we are getting ready for Mother's Day, and many people want to give Mom something for herself, since she spends so much time doing things for others. So our beauty expert, Mickey Williams, is here with some great ideas for a little pampering party for mom. These are great gift ideas, Mickey.
Yeah, and one of them's like a #1 requested. But first off, like, come on, give mom breakfast in bed, please. Like, that is a 100% thing, right?
Yes.
And I love it too. Like, instead of just, I love these little vases. These are by Villeray & Buck, and what's amazing about them is they're all they're handmade. They have these gorgeous little colors. Throw that on a breakfast tray. It's super affordable, and you know what? Moms really like hand-picked flowers. Now, I didn't personally pick these, but I do actually love that look. So throw it on a breakfast tray, and you're giving mom a vase at the same time. I love that idea because you did a little bit of something for her. But now let's talk about what else to put on that breakfast tray.
Yes,
okay? So I love, 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 and so does the rest of the world, sheet masks right now. And these are the biggest hits. And why wouldn't you say, Mom, just go ahead, stay in bed. Why don't you do a sheet mask? We're going to go get you the rest of your breakfast. Here's your coffee. You can use this one on your lips. I love these. You can get them anywhere. They're so affordable.
What
you
is
can
a
get them.
sheet mask as opposed to a regular?
I'm glad you asked that,
Basically,
Joey.
what
I
a
didn't wanna
sheet
look
mask
dumb.
is, and this is really something super easy to show you, it's a little sheet that you put right on your face. So it's got all of the hydration and the nutrients that you need right inside, and you just take them out, you unfold them, and they go right onto your face.
Okay.
So mom doesn't have to worry about the mess of cleanup. She really doesn't even have to get out of bed afterwards. She can just take it right off.
Oh, look, it's got eyes and
yeah,
nose.
and I'm telling you, they come in all different varieties. You have very expensive ones. You have products like, you know, Shiseido. You have products like Lancome, but you also have some that you can find at Walmart. Just make sure you get something that's, you know, really and truly kind of hydrating and pampering for mom. We love those kind of things.
I like the one for the lips too. That you showed us
I know,
at
that's
first,
so cute. It's
this
like,
is
Mom, let me
great.
give you a kiss, and you have this little, you know, lip mask on. I love it.
All right, now no one wants to suggest that mom needs exercise, but you say this is a very requested
This was
gift, this
the
next one.
very, very mom's request where they wanted to get a tracker, some kind of fitness tracker that was fashionable, but they also wanted something that would monitor their sleep. Moms want more sleep. So this is incredible. This is the Fitbit, and this actually is their Flex 2. And what moms also said is that they've spent a long time with their favorite watch, and they don't want to take their watch off. So they don't want these really kind of heavy watch-like Fitbits. What they want is they want something that's going to look somewhat like kind of jewelry, but also something that can kind of be inconspicuous. So that's why moms love this one, and it does actually monitor your sleep as well.
If my children are listening, I'll take one of these.
See? And that was the #1 request from
So
moms.
we're not insulting mom if we give her a
No,
Fitbit.
not
I
at
mean, maybe just
all.
ask her what she wants. But yeah, this was, they took a panel and they said you would be so surprised. Moms of all ages want a tracker,
And
some sort of a
monitoring
tracker.
sleep is a big part that not a lot of people realize the Fitbit does. It'll tell you how many times you've woken up in the night, which is
Exactly,
huge.
and I love this too for new moms. It's waterproof.
Oh,
so I
that's
love
very
that.
good. That's very
great.
good.
This is the Diva Mom
Yes.
gift right here. I
This
love
looks-
this.
I wasn't sure if it was cutlery, but then when you look in, it's a beautiful, beautiful set of brushes.
This is an award-winning makeup brush line, and it's basically a different concept than anything else. This is the Artiste, and this is actually their new Elite collection, and it actually has this fiber on it that the handles are made of the same thing that some car engines are made out of.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
This
the
is
brushes
serious.
are so soft, so beautiful. Linda, I can pet you with
You
it
have
if you
one
want.
for Linda,
Okay,
yes.
let
They got
me feel
here.
that.
They're so soft. They're so beautiful. You think that they're like mink, but they're actually
does feel like
cruelty-free. They're animal-friendly. It's a really genius kind of lush mom experience. What I loved about this is when I would go into some of my celebrity clients, I would see that they would have them kind of draped across their vanity, and it would look like, you know, those old hairbrushes. And I was like, this looks like kind of like Marie Antoinette tools. Like, it's really incredible.
It's interesting too, Mickey. I mean, I don't know a lot about makeup, but there's all different shapes and sizes.
Yes, now that's
and
obviously the most
directions.
amazing collection that you could buy for mom right there. And even some of those brushes, I don't know exactly how to use them, but there are some really great
that's
benefits to
pretty
use them.
incredible.
Yeah.
Wow,
So you
what
can
a
basically buff away
great-
any wrinkle right there with that baby and apply perfectly. So these are just kind of like beauty infused, but at the same time, start off with breakfast for mom. Give her a little bit of extra sleep with a waterproof Fitbit that'll monitor her tracking. And then when she's ready to go glam, you know, that's definitely
Lovely.
This
Yes.
is the
She'll feel like a
ultimate-
star.
Yes. Well, these are great ideas. Thank you, Mickey. You can find many more great gift ideas and always the best in the latest health and beauty products by visiting Mickey's website, sharetheglam.com. Thank you. And you want to get these for mom, treat her. It's her day. All right. We'll be right back.
Judy here, I think hospice was a tremendous source of support for her.
Absolutely. With Jennifer and Kimberly and Liza's constant contact with us, coming in, just knowing that there was someone with knowledge there to back us up, to answer our questions. It made a world of difference.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small. So Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
Accolades are great. Just wait until you see our prices. Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
So, how many of us feel completely confident about our financial future? Let's hear some specifics. Yes, go ahead.
I don't want to be a burden to my kids. When my husband died, it took almost all of our savings to give him a proper funeral. I honestly don't know if there's enough to bury me, let alone cover expenses should something happen.
Okay. Let's talk solutions. One thing you may want to get in place is a guaranteed whole life insurance policy from United of Omaha Life Insurance Company, which is a Mutual of Omaha company. This is affordable coverage, which provides a cash payment, which can cover funeral expenses, bills, and other financial needs. Most payments are on their way within 24 hours. Yes, sir.
I need medical exams, things like that.
No medical exams. If you're between the ages of 45 and 85, you can call this number or you can go online and apply for coverage up to $25,000. United of Omaha Guaranteed Whole Life Insurance. Call or go online now.
Experience the Classical Music Celebration May 11th and 12th at the historic Sarasota Opera House. World-class musicians include guitar duo Charisma, currently touring with Andrea Bocelli. Tickets available online or by phone.
Serving part-time as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment to get an edge in the civilian world. Learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you at nationalguard.com.
Beautiful friends, I would like to introduce you to Christian Grey. Oh no, we started this book club to stimulate our minds. From what I hear, this book is quite stimulating.
I love this movie. This is a preview of Book Club. It's a new film starring Candice Bergen, Jane Fonda, Diane Keaton, Mary Steenburgen. The movie follows 4 lifelong friends who make some very fun choices after reading 50 Shades of Grey in Book Club. This is coming up May 18th. Book clubs used to save my world when I had more time in the evenings. It's just fun.
Those ladies are my age.
Exactly. So fun
age.
movie opening in just a couple of weeks. We love to keep up with what's in the theaters. And a reminder, if you missed Matt, our Movie Guys segment last week, he took a look at all the big movies opening in May as well, and you can find that on our website at suncoastview.com. We're going to find Caroline in the kitchen from Libby's now. Stay with us.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
This is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at 5 o'clock. A man is arrested for firing several rounds into a downtown Sarasota apartment. How it could be connected to an investment gone wrong. Taking a quick look at first alert traffic right now in downtown Bradenton. State Road 64 is backed up as you head east. This is between 9th Street West and US 301. Back to Bob now for a look at our weather.
Scott, a sunny day today after the clouds were around over the weekend. Those clouds have since moved off to the east, associated with a weak frontal boundary, which is going to push off away from us and continue to do so as high pressure will build in behind it. Look for lots more sunshine again tomorrow. And some inland showers are possible. That rain chance, so less than 20% for an inland shower. Currently, it's warm, 89 degrees, but the humidity is what's so nice. very low at 38%, and winds out of the northwest. We'll have the details on a weekend rain coming our way at 5.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score. It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach. Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free. You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now, before it's too late.
Make us fly! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Every time you purchase a fishing license or register your boat, you're helping to preserve our nation's coastlines, lakes, rivers, and streams, protecting memories for generations to come. Learn how your participation in boating and fishing can help the environment at takemefishing.org/conservation.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
Coming up Tuesday at 4 on Suncoast View, the musical Ragtime opens at the Oslo Rep, and it follows families at the turn of the 20th century. We'll meet two of the stars and hear the award-winning music. Bookstore One brings us a new reading list featuring people who've changed their lives to become philanthropists. Plus, we'll learn what the Sarasota Succulent Society is. Woo, hope I don't have to say that tomorrow. And the Indian Table joins us in the kitchen.
Welcome back. We're here with Chef Caroline from Libby's Cafe and Bar. What are we making today?
Well, we are making Libby's famous blue cheese wedge, but we have a lot of additions, and we're actually going to be making some tempura onion rings. Actually, Linda is.
All right.
And we cook some applewood smoked bacon.
Nice. Bacon smells great. Put Linda to work.
All right, let's do it.
I've got help. Because I'm not really an expert.
Do we dredge them with, since we have the little handy things on?
That's why I have the gloves on. Just get in there.
Get them in there. Yeah. And
so that's a batter that you actually put on your
that's a tempura batter that I actually made this morning with some ginger ale, club soda, and flour.
Ooh, that's fun.
So you want to go really slowly.
Okay, we're not supposed to drop them. We're
right there, just let it hang.
Like that?
Kind of wish it around.
Swish it around.
Now drop it. Go ahead, drop it.
Okay, now what was the point of holding it
Okay, so
first?
if you let it blow up a little bit, it's going to come back and float up. So if you just drop it, it's going to stick to the bottom.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. That is a great tip. I had no idea how one makes homemade onion rings.
325, 350. I have a deep fat fryer thermometer.
I gotta be honest with you that I love a good salad with an onion ring.
Do you?
So
Okay,
you
good.
are selling me on this.
Oh, we are good at this.
You are good.
We need to open our own onion ring.
I see a second
So while they're
career.
working on the onion rings, let's talk about the bacon.
Let's talk about the bacon. So we purchased a applewood smoked slab bacon that we cut ourselves. So you can cut it as big as you want, as small as you want, as thin as you want.
Okay.
So I like little, maybe half-inch chunks.
Yeah,
Is
okay.
this the same bacon that is on the Bloody Mary bar?
It is. Same bacon.
I'll be honest.
You've been there,
I
apparently.
know that area well.
Cook it. Yep, we do that every Sunday for the Bloody Mary bar.
All right, and you mentioned that there's all sorts of different things that can go on your salad. Let's do a little assembly.
Okay, let's do a little assembly. First, you're going to put some blue cheese dressing on
Okay.
top of the lettuce, and I'm going to turn this down for Linda.
Oh. And kind of like a...
Yes, and just kind of
All right.
spread it all over. It's a big wedge of lettuce, so you need lots of dressing.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's good. So now you take the
What I like about wedge salads is they're not like the kind of salad that you have to feel healthy about.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so then some
there you
prosciutto.
Okay, just laid across.
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to flip?
Sure.
These actually might work a little better
Oh, yeah.
for you.
Oh, well, we'll give that a shot.
Okay.
All right.
Why not?
All right. How about some bacon?
Let's not be
There
shy
you
here.
go.
Wow.
And then you want to salt and pepper the tomatoes first.
Okay.
Okay. Salt and pepper the
Salt and
tomatoes.
pepper before you put them on.
Always,
Nice.
More or less
nice.
moving them
Just kinda
around.
toss them
That's
in.
good.
Is the wedge on the Mother's
Oh.
Day brunch menu?
No, it's not, but the
No.
blue cheese dressing will be.
Perfect.
How about the onion ring?
Yes.
Save these.
Yes.
We'll auction them off.
Oh, yeah, these are special.
Okay, so how about either regular crumble blue cheese or moody blue cheese?
What is the moody blue cheese?
It's a smoky blue cheese.
Mom is moody.
Angry.
Just saying.
You can tell the difference with the smoke ring and,
Yeah.
the darkness of it.
That's
Oh,
neat.
Yeah.
nice. I like this because I love to order a wedge salad when I go out, but I
Right.
never make it at home, and it's easy to see that I can pretty much customize it.
It's
and,
amazing
make
how
it
many
as I
things you
like.
You can pull them right out and stick them right here with.
Oh, there you go.
Is that
Yeah,
done?
that's fine. Yeah,
So
perfect.
I'll use one of these.
So
since
for
they're
the
not quite
Mother's
so
Day
hot.
brunch
Yes.
menu, how
I'll
many?
give
You
you-
mentioned you
you
have a
can give
large
birth to
number
one
of
of our
entrees on the menu.
Yes, probably 50 to 60
Wow.
items, including salads, desserts, pasta.
Nice.
Potatoes,
we'll have to
grouper.
make reservations.
Please do.
Absolutely, a great way to treat Mom
do.
on Mother's Day at Libby's Cafe. And in the meantime, wedge salads on the menu there.
Yes, always.
And not the kind of wedge salad that you're probably thinking. We have features with lots of things on the sides and homemade onion rings on top. Blue cheese, bacon. This is our kind of salad. All right, great way to
wait
start
any
the week.
longer.
We got a picker here checking it all out for us. Greg, great to have you with us as well.
It's been a pleasure.
Take some time, enjoy the Suncoast view.